we want to talk real quick about the moose. A lot of people already come into the chat asking about the moose incident because we've talked about it before. So, I'll start it out and then we can kind of go. After all of that, for day 2, we start making our way back up to where we had posted our gear, and I know Garrett started the whole thing off by pointing it out to me.
Yeah, so we were walking back, and I don't know, there was just something in the back of my mind. I know people can say this in hindsight and whatnot, but I truly do. Like, there was some part of me that I was like, wow, okay, I'm kind of separated from Zach and Tony. I just need to get back close to one of them. And so Zach kind of angled off some other direction, and I came up to Tony. And as I was walking up to Tony, I was maybe like 30 yards from Tony, and about 120 or so yards ahead of us along the creek bank was a female moose. And I was like, that could either be good or bad, but I wasn't thinking it was going to be good. So I told Tony, I said, hey, Tony, there's a moose up there. And he was like, well, he didn't really see it. And so he kind of stepped to his right about 10 feet, got out his phone, and he saw it, and he took a video of it. And in that video, she was standing broadside, and she looks up at us, then turns and faces us. And Tony and I start backing up slowly, and then she starts coming at us. And
she was 100 some yards away.
And she covered that distance trotting in less than 10 seconds. And so Tony and I take off running. And thank God that there was thick willow brush for us to dodge around, because she was coming after us, man. Her and I, at first we were in the middle of the willow brush, and we weren't exactly sure where she was. And then her and I popped around a bush and came face to face. And I think her and I scared each other. So Tony and I just keep running.
Cow.
We're just trying to get out of there, and it doesn't matter what we do or where we go. She's on our tail. She's charging us. She
flanked us 3 times.
Yeah, she flanked. She knew where we were trying to go. As she flanked us, she was all around us. I mean, honestly, Tony and I did. Zach was far, far away. I thought.
What I was going to say, Garrett, like at that moment when she was flanking you guys, I heard you because she came around a corner and like you kind of tried to startle her by screaming, and I had no idea what was going on because I was separated from you guys when this incident started, so I was across the field from Garrett and Tony. I see them backpedaling, and I started asking them, and they're staring at something, but I couldn't see what it was, and I'm like, what's going on? And I started kind of asking them out loud, and they weren't answering because they were focused on the moose. And then I started seeing them go from backpedaling to actually start running my direction, and then I hear Tony scream moose, and I had about, 40-yard head start of them, and so I just booked it for the property next over, because I knew, it's going to be there within a matter of just a split second. And so I actually hopped this barbed wire fence, and I'm watching them from a distance at this point. And I see the moose come up. That's when I hear Garrett scream. I have no idea what's going on. The moose flanks them again, and then I see them. It's me, the barbed wire fence, the moose, and then they're on the other side of her. And then she goes in and she charges at him again, and then I lost sight of them again. And then it wasn't until, 30 seconds after that I see them emerge from the brush again, and I start to try to reconnect with them. But it was scary.
I thought Tony and I were going to seriously have to fight a moose barehanded, and I don't think we were going to win with our shovels.
No, she was all we had literally were our shovels and our machines. Mm-hmm. And at that, it was coming to the point to where the number of times that she flanked us and came at us, I was literally at the point believing that we were going to have to actually defend our lives. I've been in many situations, like not this, but in law enforcement situations. I will attest, I have never been that scared in my entire life. I honestly thought that one of us was going to get trampled and we were going to have to defend each other in some way with a shovel. That's all I had was a shovel with me. We didn't have any guns or anything like that. So, it was absolutely crazy.
Moose can be so mean, man. And especially a mama moose. She got a little newborn there.
Well, and unbeknownst to us, we had no idea, but she had just given birth the day prior. So she was extra mean, extra willing to kill us. Yeah, we didn't see a calf at all.
No.
But that was later on when we found out she had a young one.
Mm.
Yeah,
you guys are lucky, man.
We're actually really lucky. As we're trying to get away, I will tell you, we ran through some marshy type of area. I lost a boot I fell down in the water. I lost one of my boots that I was wearing, and I'm running with just my sock on and trying we're just trying to get distance. We didn't advance towards her. We retreated right away when we saw her, and she just there was something that was just off. And then, like Garrett said, come to find out, there was a brand new calf over there, and it was an experience that.
Have you ever been chased by a moose, Zach, before?
No, sir.
No. First time for everything, man. Think about this trip. First for everything.
Yeah,
right?
emotions through the roof. Holy cow!
Yeah, that's like we were talking about earlier. Just the roller coaster that this trip was. I mean, this just took us for a whole nother turn that we were not ready for at all.
Well, and then Tony, tell us about the next morning, because we had to abandon all of our gear. We had to leave everything that we had brought in there.
You couldn't even go back in there and get it.
No,
nope.
So we had posted up our gear at a certain spot when we came into the area, so we weren't carrying around backpacks and things like that. A trash bucket, and we left it all in one spot, and we couldn't get back to it. Well, inside my backpack was my drone, my wallet with my cards. Luckily, I had my keys on me, but we had, like Zach said, we cleared this barbed wire fence like Carl Lewis over the hurdles. It was insane. I didn't know you could get over a fence that fast. And we booked it back to a point to where we got to the stream that we were crossing gingerly to get through to begin with. It didn't matter after that. We were through it. We're like trying to just create as much distance as we could. And then, we're like, okay, well, what's going to happen now? All of our stuff is still out there. So we went back out the next morning because I had to get now we're on to day 3 of this hunt, right? We figured we're going to have 3 or 4 days at hunting this place. We go back out on day 3 and I'm like, I need to get my wallet. So we actually were walking through the woods and if we would have had a video of the 3 of us, our heads didn't stop moving left to right. I mean, the 3 of us, it was like, like a cartoon. It would have actually been pretty hilarious.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was telling Garrett, I was like, it literally felt like Jurassic Park because we hopped this fence to get back into the field. And once we're in there, I mean, we're having to fend for ourselves. And so
that was our last line of safety.
It's raining. It's misty. We're like all looking around off the trail. And I mean, just keeping our eyes peeled. And we actually had a false alarm when we started to get deeper in because there was a deer back in there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, all of a sudden, this deer darts away. And we're like,
no.
Oh my God, on point. Yeah, all of a sudden, then it shoots the emotions back up again, as this deer goes trotting off.
And
I mean, we can laugh about now. You guys didn't get hurt, thankfully.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
it
wasn't even.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say we were like 20 feet of stock and further. Tony doesn't even hesitate. I see him just turn around in a flash of lightning and just yell, "Go!" And we didn't stop to ask questions. We took off back to the safety fence. I watched Zach Zach could be an Olympic gold medalist hurdler for how he cleared this fence.
He cleared this cattle fence. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Tony and
I didn't
got
even
to
want to know what was going on back there, so I booked it, hopped the fence, and then when I turned around, I saw you guys just walking up to the fence because you had gotten far enough away, and it turned out she actually wasn't charging us at that moment because we just must have gotten out of there quick enough or whatever. But
Tony was on point.
If we would have stayed there. If we would have stayed there any longer, we would have been attacked again.
Yeah,
she saw me and stood up, and it was within a couple seconds, if that. And between that point of me seeing her and she popping up that quick, and I turned around and yelled, "Run," or "Go," or whatever I said. I mean, it was like that. And so now,
he's like, "Oh, you want to play, do you?"
Right. So she's still in the area, right? I still don't have my wallet.
You still didn't get your stuff?
No.
We were 50 yards away from the stuff when she was there.
So what are you going to do now? She's chased you off twice. Tony, you need your stuff. You need to get back home.
Well, what's funny is, I mean, Zach had to my gas tank, the gas light was on. Zach had to put money into my car for me so I could drive. They had to buy me dinner. I don't have any cash. I don't have my debit cards. So they're buying me, like I'm a 13-year-old teenager being drugged around by my dads. Like they're having to take care of me. And I'm like, what in the crap am I going to do? I have to get back to Colorado. The drone can be replaced, whatever, but it's literally my wallet. So we go back and talk to the landowner and tell him what's going on, and then we go back to the house. For the rest of the day, we finish up cleaning up our finds, and Zach ends up going out for dinner.
Oh wait, the rest of the day. So you guys didn't even get to hunt on day 3.
We didn't hunt at all.
The third day between the rain and the moose, we didn't hunt at all.
Because mind you, it's still been raining in the background. It's still been raining all this time.
Oh my goodness!
Right. And so we're coming. And this was Thursday, right? Yeah, this was Thursday night. And I went to bed. I was essentially trying to come to grips with, I have to essentially put my life in danger. I'm going to run tomorrow morning. I'm going to run out there as fast as I can, grab the stuff and run back, trying to dodge this. Like, I'm coming to the realization I could lose my life tomorrow, like, just to try to go get my backpack with my wallet. I'm just coming to the realization. And so Zach ends up going out for dinner, and then tell what happened.
So I just went out to get some fast food, and before I tell what happened, I get back, and by the time I got back, I had all of Tony's stuff, and I just told him, I said, your stuff's in my trunk. And when I saw your countenance just relax at that point, I mean, I'll never forget that. You were just like, because I could see the tension in you, and it just all like dropped right there.
What'd you do, Zach? Did you go running out there?
Oh yeah, you know me. I
heard how you can hurdle those fences, man.
No. So the real hero in the story was the landowner, actually. Yeah. So originally he was telling us, well, like, it's still too muddy to get a tractor in there. I'd love to get a tractor in there, but like he didn't want to really go in there on like an ATV or something because there's no protection on that. But it got into his head to actually go do that. And so, unbeknownst to us, because he didn't really text us throughout the day, we told him what was going on, and he said, "Yeah, we'll try to get it Friday morning." And so we're just kind of waiting on hearing from him again. But then when I was out getting fast food, I get a phone call from him, and he's like, "I got all your stuff," and I was like, "No way! Like, I'm showing up right now. Like, tell me how this happened." And so he tells me the story, and he pulled off like this tactical operation where he like, got on his ATV. He like opens the gate, he like drove it in there, and got the attention of the mother moose, and he drives past her, and she starts chasing him a little bit, or like she gets attracted to the ATV. He actually leaves it running, and he got off of it, and she was distracted with the ATV. And in the meantime, she went back behind all this brush and kind of like flanked around her, picked up all Tony's stuff, and like got back over there. And then he said this thing, I'm trying to remember the way he told it, but like he had this like stick, and then he started.
He saw the calf.
Yeah, he saw the calf. Yeah, and so that was how we found out. Actually, yeah, it's a 1 or 2 day old calf that was actually just born because he saw it. And so, but then he gets this like stick, starts banging on the tree way back behind her. She comes back into the woods, and then he exits the woods with the stuff, gets back on the ATV, and gets out of there.
Oh my gosh!
And then gives me a phone call, and so we got all the stuff. I mean, all the stuff was like waterlogged because it was just sitting out there.
It got soaked. Yeah.
But just to have it, I mean, I did not expect that phone call.
What a landowner, man! Like that is going way beyond.
Well, he did say that he's had moose out there before, and he's had to go out there when they birth and try to get these calves to move along and stuff, so they leave the area. I mean, he said that he doesn't. He tells his sons not to go out on the land when there's the moose are birthing. So. He's dealt with this before. Freaking Superman, I tell you what.
Yeah.
Yeah. My gosh. He's like, man, I got to get this guy's stuff.